to Cinema Vino. It's good to have you guys here with us. We got Shoujo.
Hi.
Sean Jordan. I'm T-Woff. So we've got a classic 90s movie. Kind of now a sleeper hit, I would say.
It's getting traction recently.
As it should. Yes, it's timely. It was prescient.
It was prescient.
Mm-hmm. Is it prescient or prescient?
I always thought it was prescient.
It's like, is it issues or issues?
Issues. Is it biopic or biopic?
Yeah, I don't know. It might be tomato. Depends on where you're from. Southern United States, it's lightning bug.
I'm from the South.
But, up north, it's firefly. So
Firefly is way cooler than lightning bug, though.
I agree. So,
if it was lightning fly, maybe.
Yeah, I agree. Sean's cats are hungry, in case you can hear that out there.
No, she's singing to us. This is her serenade. She has a ball in her mouth right now.
So Wag the Dog is going to be our movie this week. Released Christmas Day, 1997.
Weird movie for Christmas.
It was. It was obviously set up for award season. That's what they were going for.
Gotcha.
This had a budget of $15 million. Gross $64 million worldwide. 86% Rotten Tomatoes.
So it was pretty successful in its time.
Yeah, it did a pretty good gross. It kind of got forgotten for a while.
It's interesting that this came out during the Clinton era. I can see why it came out during the Clinton era, but I don't think they knew quite how bad it was going to get.
Yeah, that was just a warm-up. That was an hors d'oeuvre for later times.
A hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah, which is what you say in the Southern United States.
Yeah, it's a hors d'oeuvre.
Yeah.
In the North, you say firefly.
Exactly. You say pill bug. This was
I say roly-poly.
Roly-poly. Yeah, that's the only correct way to say that's roly-poly. That's not a pill bug.
Roly-poly is way more fun.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. That's why that's British say, pill bug.
It's a pill bug.
That's why we beat them in the war.
I bet they say firefly, too.
Mm-hmm. Great series, though, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's getting a reboot.
I heard that, yeah.
Animated.
Okay. Same cast?
Same cast. I think what I've heard is that it's going to take place prior to the movie because, spoilers, washed eyes in the movie. Mm-hmm. So I think he's going to be in there, which is good because Alan Tudyk is a great voice actor.
Yeah.
So
one of the best.
Yeah. So we'll get some Firefly action.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Only took 30 years.
Was it?
No, not that long. 20.
Yeah, I was going to say like 20-ish.
Yeah.
25.
Still hard to believe.
I know.
So this was directed by Barry Levinson, who won an Oscar for Rain Man, but also did your favorite movie, The Natural.
God.
But did a bunch of other movies like Diner, Tin Man, Bugsy with Warren Beatty, which he was also nominated for a bunch of Oscars for that. This was co-written by David Mamet, who Pulitzer Prize winning playwright who did Glengarry Glen Ross.
Easy for you to say. That should be your new vocal.
That's one of those you have to back up into. Like you can't
Glengarry Glen Ross. Glengarry Glen Ross.
You can't just run into it. You have to take a step back and then wind up into it.
Yeah.
Glengarry Glen Ross, and then he won a Pulitzer for. I'm trying to think of what he won the Pulitzer for. I just blanked out. But anyway, so he's a Pulitzer Prize winning playwright, and based on the book American Hero by Larry Beinhart. All-star cast: Dustin, Hoffman,
DeNiro, Leary.
You've got Woody Harrelson,
Willie Nelson,
Kirsten Dunst, Anne Heche, William H. Macy.
Yeah.
So pretty strong cast of people.
Good cast. And I think that's where most of the budget went, right? Because $15 million budget for a movie that is not big on effects.
No.
It's all cast.
This is an acting showcase. And for a long time, William H. Macy was one of the regulars in David Mamet's plays. Speed the Plow, I think is the one I'm thinking of that won the Pulitzer.
Speed the Plow.
So this was nominated for Best Actor for Dustin Hoffman, and then adapted screenplay for David Mamet and Hilary Hankin. I believe he was brought in to rewrite Hilary Hankin's original script. So basically, to sum this up briefly, and this will sound very, very familiar.
Stop me if you've heard this one.
There's an enormous controversy in the White House where the president is being accused of being a pedophile with a Firefly girl. or I guess a lightning bug girl.
In the South, yeah.
Yeah. And so in order to tamp down the controversy, they bring in a fix-it man and a Hollywood producer to drum up a fake war with Albania to distract the public and, kind of rile up American patriotism for a unified cause and help get people's minds off the fact that the president is a sexual predator.
But Todd, there is no war.
There is no war. Yeah. And it's so great, like the line of like, there is a war. I see it on TV. It's on the screen.
Yeah.
It's like, you got to believe what you see. And so basically it's their attempt to create a Hollywood production that resembles an actual war where there is none. So...
Well, and they don't even try to drown out the controversy. They try to preempt it, try to get ahead of it.
Yeah.
So that when it breaks, because they know it's going to break within a day or two, have a bigger headline to kind of tamp it down. And this is going on in the middle of an election. It's like maybe, a week and a half before Election Day, and the president is trying to... steal the headlines and make sure that his news doesn't break.
Push the Firefly Girl thing down, page 2, page 3.
Phrasing.
On down. on down the headlines. Mm-hmm. And
get it on the back page.
Yeah.
Get the war with Albania on the front page using political fireworks to draw attention away from something else that you've done.
And really every multimedia trick in the book of like having a song, like a We Are the World type song, having like instead of the yellow ribbons, like shoes, creating a hero shot down behind enemy lines, like,
having a hero shot down behind enemy lines, having to do a rescue mission.
Just so dangerous.
And that guy just never actually sees the light of day. Is that right? Am I following that right?
Yeah.
No. Interesting. And okay.
That played by Woody Harrelson, who nearly steals the whole movie, playing the deranged convict they get to play the hero. So, just a delightful performance from him.
It is. It's deranged, and he just has such a good maniac look.
Yeah. So Dustin Hoffman's character, Stanley Motz, is based on a real-life producer named Robert Evans, who produced The Godfather and a bunch of hits in the 70s, apparently, and he was, I guess, kind of a uncle, father figure, whatever, to Dustin Hoffman, like a mentor. But, so Dustin Hoffman plays basically a riff on that guy. Very eccentric, very sort of perfumed.
Was he also obsessed with the idea that producers don't get the credit they deserve?
I think all producers are obsessed with that idea.
Sure.
And the running joke is that their award is Best Picture. That's what the producers get, but they don't get enough they can't get enough recognition for what they do. But that's the other running joke in every Hollywood meta movie is that no one's really clear on what a producer actually does. It's a vague job title.
They produce.
Exactly.
They make things happen.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, well, it's like, the movie Steve Jobs by Aaron Sorkin, where Steve Jobs, Wozniak asked Steve Jobs, like, what do you do? And Jobs says, I'm the conductor. I play the orchestra. That's kind of, I think, how producers view themselves, is they're the conductor of the orchestra. They bring everybody together.
Yeah.
So
they're vibes. They're vibes people.
Yeah. Yeah. They're the glue.
That's right.
Of everything.
Yeah.
And
they know who to go to solve problems.
Yes, exactly. They know they can facilitate.
Yeah.
DeNiro is the political fix-it man who's, never really established who he works for or like really kind of where he comes from. He kind of pops up without a real solid backstory.
Yeah, what his jurisdiction is. He has a real wrinkly hat.
Yeah.
He just kind of comes in, takes over a room, and really supersedes the chief of staff who's running around with him. And she becomes real hapless real fast. She's just like, oh, what are we gonna do?
Yeah. I'm currently on medication for a condition. It's like she just doesn't know what to say or what to do. So.
And he just real quick is just like, we got to do this and this and this. It's easy. Now, come on, Deborah.
Yeah. But he's the definitive guy that works without credit.
Yeah.
They can be invisible. He's the opposite of the Dustin Hoffman character. He can do whatever he does and just exit. And that's, he can do all of the effort for none of the glory.
He's the political producer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. but then he assembles a group of kind of media gadflies like Dennis Leary, who's supposed to be kind of like a pop culture, sloganeer who can come up with all kinds of stuff like on the spot of how to market it. He can package it basically. The war, the president, the whole message. Willie Nelson is in charge of coming up with the actual song, and he has a great performance too, I think.
Yeah, he has a really great performance.
As somebody who is just basically there to kind of wander in and out of scenes, strumming the guitar, and
it's great seeing him so young.
Yeah, yeah, he was only in his early 70s here, so.
He was spry.
Just a young man.
Compared to what we know today.
Yeah. And he has a duet with a singer with one of my favorite names ever, Roebuck Staples. They do a little duet in the middle.
Roebuck Staples.
It's a song about good old shoe. So, yeah, it's good stuff.
The song that they didn't use that I was really hoping they would is... Tower of Power has a song called Don't Change Horses in the Middle of a Stream.
Yeah.
And that was like the whole slogan, the presidential slogan of his shitty ad campaigns was, don't change horses in the middle of the stream.
Which was Abraham Lincoln's campaign slogan when he was running for re-election.
What a garbage slogan to run on.
I mean, in 1864, it's great.
Yeah, because in 1864, they actually used horses, and they were like, that's good advice.
That's how you're crossing the stream.
Yeah, of course you're not going to change horses in the middle of the stream.
Yeah.
Not an idiot.
You probably had, in 1864, you probably had to cross the stream on a horse to go vote.
Probably.
So.
Imagine that ad campaign if they used Tower of Power, though.
Yeah. Tower of Power makes everything better.
Would have been incredible.
Yeah. Just a baseline you can drive a truck through.
Yeah. This horn section that just for miles.
Yeah. It's awesome. So had you seen this before?
No, I hadn't. I hadn't even heard of it until you brought it up.
Yeah. So I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on it.
Honestly, I really did not enjoy watching it.
Really?
Because it's too on the nose. It's a comedy, and if I had seen this maybe, I don't know, 12 years ago, I could have enjoyed it for what it is, but now I just get mad at, wow, okay, there's no consequences for the president. He wins the re-election and everybody's happy. The fixer, they dispose of the producer, and he goes away at the end. Yeah. And everybody's just happy, everybody wins.
All the bad guys win.
All the bad guys win. And it's like, no, this is exactly what we're dealing with today. We see this whole thing. And I was going to bring up, Steve Bannon actually references this movie in an email to Jeffrey Epstein.
Oh, God. You can't get around the emails anymore.
No, you can't. You can. It's signal chats. Just don't invite a reporter to it. Yeah. And then you're off scot-free.
Yeah, there you go.
But yeah, no, this movie is too close to home for what we're dealing with today for me to actually enjoy the comedy of it. It was enjoyable. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. Good movie. I'll give it like a 6.5. It's well made and it's well acted, but I couldn't enjoy it for what it was.
It's too cringy. It's too real. 12 years ago, what do you think you would have given it if you had just watched it on a random?
I'm sure I would have given it like a 7. I mean, it's a tight, 97-minute movie. It's not bloated. It's not, it's nothing to write home about. I don't think it deserved tons of awards. Yeah. It's great satire. And I think in the context of the Clinton era, it was more satirical. In the context of the Trump era, it is very on the nose.
It's reality.
Yeah.
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 And that's the thing is, satires often can be time capsules.
Yeah.
This is what people thought was
ludicrous,
extreme to the point of being funny. That there could be a fake war with fake news footage and doctored images of
AI images.
Yeah. Where Kirsten Dunst, who plays a refugee, they use a bag of chips and then Photoshop, and it's a real argument.
Photoshop a cat in.
Yeah. And then they're talking about breeds of dogs and what kind of kitten does the president like? He likes a small calico kitten. It's like
the president wants a white cat.
Yeah. And it's like, that's now so close, because now we live in a world of doctored images and like fake newsreels and deep fakes and stuff that they wouldn't have even dreamed of back then.
Yep.
So, yeah, it's a different. The movie's completely different.
It's not like the president would use an AI image.
Or like put people in harm's way to clear his own name.
No.
So, it's remarkable in that way of how accurate this movie turned out to be.
Melania's not even in the Epstein files. She doesn't even know him.
Doesn't even know him. And made a point to declare that publicly.
She came out and said it.
Which, every innocent person does.
Yes. I was planning on my press release.
Yeah.
I was going to go out and tell everybody that I'm not in the Epstein files.
I don't know him. I never met the man.
No.
So,
I figured we were all going to take turns saying that.
Give me a bank of microphones. I'll let everybody know.
Yeah.
I am scandal free.
Scandal free since '93. You heard it here first, folks. Todd and I, not in the emails.
That's our slogan right there. Scandal free since '93.
That's right.
So you would say you're 6'5"?
Yeah, I'd give it like 6'5". It was enjoyable. I think it aged poorly in the last 5-10 years.
Yeah,
but it doesn't change that it's a well-made movie, well acted.
Yeah.
I just could not enjoy it with the content that it was.
Yeah. Especially like literally the headlines of right now. Its peak relevance is like probably right now.
It needs to make a comeback. I think it does need to make a comeback, but at the same time, it's hard to be glib about the subject matter.
Yeah.
When we're living it.
Yes. I agree.
We are very much going to war with a country to distract from president's continued issues.
It's a PR war.
Yes.
And yeah, there have been AI footage that's been doctored of actual like explosions and planes, and they've established that what you're seeing is not real.
Well, and at the same time, there is a level of media literacy that we have now where we are more skeptical of what's put out by the government or what's being produced by, not even by the government, just what's put out there. Because it's never put out there as like government messaging. It's put out as propaganda that you get through various channels, and you see a tweet about it, and you see, here's an Instagram reel of like some, puppies that are being saved on the streets of Iran. And it's like, this isn't real, man.
No. And it's like you say, it's not an official government thing. It comes from some sort of political mechanism.
And it's motivated
from government employees.
Yeah. There's motivation behind it that's being put out by somebody who's being paid by somebody.
Yeah. Who knows? Again,
who knows?
There's a DeNiro type character.
It's all going on Signal.
Yeah. So I would give this a 7.75. I remember seeing this when it came out. I really enjoyed it. And I think I enjoy the pieces of it more than the whole. I think Dustin Hoffman is great as this sort of, I want to say coke-addled producer, kind of hyperactive.
The eccentric histrionic Hollywood.
Yeah. Almost a cliche producer.
Well, and at the end of the movie, he's hoisted by his own character flaws. Like he can't get past his inability to be recognized.
Vanity. It's Hollywood vanity.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the Woody Allen quote back in the day, somebody else who didn't age well and was on Epstein's Island. But all they do in Hollywood is give out awards. That's all they do. And there's an element of needing to be recognized. It's a failing of, I think, that industry is like they can't function without handing out awards.
I feel like there's a few other failings of that industry.
Yes.
That Woody Harrelson might shed light on.
Yes.
Or not Woody Harrelson, Woody Allen.
Well, maybe he's probably got some stories.
Yeah,
too.
Anybody named Woody.
Yeah. I think the funniest part of this movie to me is when they escape the plane crash or whatever towards the end, and he's wandering out in the field. He sees the farmer's daughter, and he literally quotes an Alicia Bridges disco song called "I Like the Nightlife, I Like the Boogie." And it's like, that is the most random thing I've ever heard of. And the Sling Blade voice of like, "I like the nightlife, I like the boogie." It's like, that is so bizarre. And it's like, that is perfectly in my wheelhouse of humor. It is surreal.
Yeah.
So that I remember laughing out loud back then.
I do think this movie is kind of the sum of its parts. It doesn't really, go beyond that. It very much is like, okay, it's well acted, it's well directed, well made, but it doesn't become something bigger.
Flourishes is really good dialogue, and I love the "We Are the World." Like, you got to have a song, everybody come together and wave the flag.
Oh, I loved "We Are the World."
Yeah, I mean, with
what you think that was like? Not a thing?
I mean, that I'm sure the intentions behind that were really good, but it's like how produced and grandiose it is. Like, we guard the American border.
Yeah.
The first Gulf War had a lot of that sort of rah patriotism to it.
Yeah. It's easy to get on board with the early days of a ideological war.
Yeah. And pretty much every war has that time period, even World War II, where it's like the first days of the war have kind of an element of romance, like sort of Casablanca.
We're going over there. We're going to save things.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. Everyone's going to ration.
The world is changing all around us. Yeah. But yeah, and there were parts that you almost have to shut out current events to really enjoy the movie.
Yeah, which is hard.
Yeah, it is. And I think that out there in the world, that viewers, I think your enjoyment will hinge on how well you can kind of compartmentalize, your own political anger. And
spoilers, I cannot.
Yeah, it's tough. My wife felt the same way. She was like, "This is hard to watch because of how accurate it is, how real it is. It's painful." So,
I mean, I can't say if that means this movie aged really well or really poorly.
It's tough. I think it aged too well.
Yeah.
I think that's how I would define it. And I think it was easier from what I have done on the website. It's easier for me just instinctively to separate the movie from everything around it, like oil and water. I can look at it as a movie. And on that front, I would say I'd give it a 7.5, strictly on its own terms.
That's fair.
Yeah. Now, one thing we kind of skipped over was the wine we're drinking.
Oh, yeah.
We're drinking the Broadside Merlot from Paso Robles.
Paso Robles.
So I thought for this movie and the next movie, we'll do I thought this Wag the Dog was kind of underrated. It's become underrated over the years.
It's got a good Rotten Tomatoes score, but I feel like it's flown below the radar.
Yeah. You don't hear about it a lot over the years.
Unless you're Jeffrey Epstein in your emails.
Exactly. And that, I want to say, is a vaudeville quote or joke or whatever that, if the tail was smarter, the tail would wag the dog. That's like an old vaudeville joke that's been around forever.
Yeah.
But yeah, Merlot is an underrated grape. People bash on it because of the movie Sideways. But it's a great red grape. It's one of the primary components in one of the most famous blends in the world, Bordeaux. It's put with Cabernet often to help soften the sharp edges of a Cabernet.
I like a Merlot because it's got like a peppery kind of back end, but it doesn't have like a super sharp bite.
Yeah.
It's kind of got like a warm, soft body.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like you?
Exactly. Just right for cuddling.
Just cuddle on up to that Merlot,
Yeah. And if we have storms tonight, we'll draw a hot bath.
That's right.
I think that Merlot is one of the more, it can be more, I would say, fruit forward, but also kind of dark chocolatey. It kind of has sometimes some kind of, the chocolates that have a little bit of a peppery, like spicy flavor to them. Mm-hmm. Kind of like that, like biting into a spicy hunk of chocolate.
It's like a good like black peppercorn sort of like... like a high cacao chocolate. Yeah,
which is goddamn delicious.
Yeah, I like a high cacao.
Yeah, it's fun to say.
High cacao?
High cacao.
High cacao.
But this is about $20 at your wine store, the Broadside Cabernet. And yeah.
Broadside Merlot.
Or Broadside Merlot. I got Cabernet on the brain. Broadside Merlot. It's an underrated wine for an underrated movie. Check out Wag the Dog again, it will hit close to home with the current headlines.
A little too close to home.
Yeah.
But I think it's worth watching.
Mm-hmm. Again, especially if you're a fan of the lead actors, DeNiro and Hoffman and those guys.
Yeah.
They're, some of the best actors around. And I think that if you're a fan, it's worth checking out just for their performances alone. So.
Yeah. And I think as a satire, I think what it does well is it holds up that mirror and shows you how easy it is to be manipulated.
Yeah, exactly.
And, anything you can do to combat that and be more aware of it makes you a better citizen of the United States.
Well, and the quote that popped in my head with it was the Eugene O'Neill quote of like, there's no present and there's no future, just the past happening over and over again. You know, it's like watching a movie from the 1990s, like play out now in real life headlines. So there it is. But yeah, it's been another episode of Cinema Vino. Wag the Dog, the movie you should check out there in the world somewhere. I forget where this was streaming. It's been a couple of weeks since I watched it and made notes.
Don't think it was streaming anywhere when I watched it.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean by the time you listen to this, it's not streamed somewhere else.
Yeah, I'll definitely include a link. If I can find it, I'll tell you where to check it out. So follow the link in the description.
Cool.
Yeah, got Sean Jordan.
Hey.
Show Joe. My name's T. Woff.
Todd Wofford.
Great movies, only drunker. Tune in next time. We're going to talk about a movie to be determined. But yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.